All right, they should be able to see us and hear us. I think we're live. There's a couple folks in the channel. Got a couple subs before we went live, so thank you for that. Very much appreciate it. But we are here. Adventures in Lollygagging, Defenders of Cobalt, Grim and Perilous, freely published info. Everyone's here. We'll do some plugs here in a sec, but we are playing Alien tonight. We are continuing our Cinders of Heaven campaign that we've played now for a couple months. I think this is episode 8. Which is nice. So we're getting there. We've had some deaths in the party of late, but we have new characters. Last time we played, we got to meet Chet, Jeremy's brand new character. I got to tweak his screen, but we also get to meet Matt's new character tonight as well, which is gonna be pretty fun. So let's just kind of do the usual thing. We'll go around, say who you are, who you're playing, plug whatever you got to plug, and yeah. So I think we're good. Yeah, Jeremy, you're up.
All right. Hi, I'm Jeremy. I spend my week playing games with these wonderful people. I'll be playing Chet, who's just a lovely young boy who happens to be the son of the new corporate representative on board. And he's doing his best to make fast friends with everybody in the crew.
Okay. And if you're not familiar with the Alien game, Kid is quite literally a class in Alien.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, so you want to like walk us through since Kid's new, like what are some of the cool things a kid can do? Like, or what's
So the main things I've got going right now is basically he's really good at dodging stuff. Like the kids get a special ability that let them use their mobility to dodge things, including like special attacks from alien critters.
Mm-hmm.
And I also took a hidden stash perk to where he just is like a little pack rat that steals stuff and can randomly pull out an object here and there.
That's so great and like completely unintended, and it's just like a wonderful like synergy. Like last time he just was wandering around the ship for the first time, finding all these little nooks and crannies where like your previous character Marshall, probably we assume, was tucking away like weapons and weird stuff, and like Chet now has access to all that stuff. So
You should give 12-year-olds grenades more often.
yeah,
It's a recipe for success.
yeah, we were talking about that ahead of time about whether that was good parenting, but we'll see. All right, and then next up we've got Adam.
Hello, I'm Adam Rose. I'm with Grim and Perilous Studios. I'm playing Big Eugene Ellsworth. Sometimes you just call me Biggie for short, and then if you see me coming out of cry, you call me Biggie Frosty.
Excellent. So I was going to ask you something about Big E, but I cannot remember what I was going to ask you. Oh, well, I guess we'll get into it. But like Big E, I was listening back. Big E and Clover know something that everyone else doesn't know, because we ended on not like on a major cliffhanger, but on a little bit of a nugget, as we saw like these equipment being rolled into the ship that I think Big E and Clover were able to see, like certain people in this kind of gear. So I'm kind of curious what Big E's reaction is going to be, but we can play that out when we get to the.
Well, I'm an open book, Mother.
Okay. Oh, that's right. I'm Mother. I forgot. That's what they call. All right. Melissa, you're up.
So I play Ada Clover. She is the scientist, does kind of experimentation with hydroponics and those other types of things. The recent character change for her is she's switched her rivals around. So her rival had been Biggie. Kind of the difference between sort of the scientist who thinks she's smarter than everybody, and kind of the roughneck mechanic and not necessarily seeing things eye to eye. But now that we've had a change in who we're working with here, she's got a little snot nose that she doesn't think very kindly of after her olive branch of sharing the pets was rebuked.
Okay. So that reminds me, Jeremy, what did Chet end up with for his rival and buddy? Did he figure it out yet?
I mean, I'll assume it'll play out, but I think I chose our good doctor as my rival.
Okay.
With the whole bunion talk and the
God.
measuring his height sort of stuff, and Cheddar. For Buddy, I'm on the fence. Like, I would assume initially he would write for his dad to be his buddy, but that feels weird in a way. I think it makes more sense to maybe write because I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but Frenchie did offer him some booze last session. So
okay, that works out. Okay.
I'm not sure how much his father will like that, but yeah, Frenchie seems like he might be fun to pal around with.
All Right on. So far, I think it's Melissa just hates because Melissa, did you had Biggie and now you've switched over. So it's really just Jeremy at this point now that you've just drawn. It's like a lightning rod of your.
Chet.
That's what I do.
Okay.
I'm
Chet,
great at
to be
attracting
clear.
hate.
I feel really bad because with Marshall being dead, because there's a lot of people who liked Marshall apparently who watch and listen to our stuff. And they're like, oh, we really like Marshall and the Christopher Walken stuff, and I'm like, oh,
So did I.
that's a shame. Yeah, I did too, but don't pull punches, right? So, all right, bottom row we got Jen.
Hey everybody, it's Jen. I'm part of the Grim and Perilous group, and I also do Twitch streaming on my channel Pixel Prowler with some of the GMP people or by myself. So tonight I am continuing my escapades as Veronica Marsbar Wesson. She's the ship medic and best friends with Cheddar.
And apparently you have multiple bunions or just like one large
One
bunion?
Major
Okay.
cankerous bunion.
It
Oh,
was separate, and then they grew together, so it's like a
Hmm.
Tripolitan
It's like
bunion.
twinsies
The
now.
horror. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, now it's just a Cyclops.
It's a different kind of horror. Oh, duh. God. It's the worst.
Clover's gonna need to reconsider her buddy.
Hey, look, it can
Oh.
blink.
This is TMI.
Your guys' faces are great.
I think I'm going to change who I target next. Take out. Oh, gosh.
Just the bunion, though.
Just the bunion. Exactly.
Surgically remove it.
If there's that much bunion, is that at least 1 point of armor?
Oh, dude.
Possibly. I should put a critical injury is like just
Yeah.
removes all bunions.
Rule
That's what
one.
it is.
Mm-hmm.
Severs bunions.
Lord.
Oh, geez. And then in the middle, Matt's back. Matt wasn't around with us last time, so Matt, tell us about yourself and about your new character.
Yeah. You guys can always find me over on the Free League Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Free League Publishing. Lots of cool, exciting things coming up there for 2021. And I am playing a new character. I am now a company agent. This crew has messed up one too many times, and now they need Big Brother on their ship. So Silas Worthington is joining them, and he's also the father of little Chet Worthington, who you met last week.
Yeah.
So I told all of them they better be treating my son well.
Yeah. I really like the last name you picked. It's just so wonderful. It's such a name you could hate. Like just anybody, no offense if anyone's listening who has the last name Worthington, but you have kind of a name that people can hate. Remember Sam Worthington? Remember when he was really popular for like a week and a half? And like, and then he's not anymore. Are you got any games you're running this week there, Matt?
I'm running Cyberpunk tomorrow over on
Hey.
Notorious DMG at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Yay.
And I think that's it this week. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up our Cyberpunk Red playthrough.
A few of us are in that. I think Chuck and Melissa.
I'm in that.
Jeff,
Yeah.
are all there.
Yeah. And speaking of Chuck, hey, Captain.
That's me. Hey, I'm the captain now. Yeah, I'm playing Frenchie, the pilot who up jumped to captain. And I think it's kind of like, the dog who caught the bus or something like that. Like I always wanted to be captain. I'm like, all right, I'm captain now. Like, what the fuck do I do with being captain? I did do good though. I did suck up hard enough with the corporate people last session that they're not going to instantly like vent the ship into space or anything like that.
They didn't take the ship away from you. Like that in itself was a success. So that was great. Yeah, you really made a surprising impression on
I tried.
Mary Donovan, the Wayland Yutani rep that you'll be contacting with from time to time, who saw your like Tommy Bahama type outfit and just assumed one thing, but you were very agreeable. Increased your debt like significantly, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because Marshall was
hurts.
Wayland Yutani property, so
Yeah.
destruction of that is not good. And I was saying I really like the change in leadership. It's interesting because it's like with his leadership style, with Frenchie's leadership style, I feel like there's stuff that Bud kind of kept maybe like he was like a firewall in some way from like the way in which like the immorality and such of the ethically questionable practices of Weyland-Yutani were like weren't quite getting all the way to the crew because Bud was there, but now Bud's gone and there's Frenchie. How's that?
It's not. I'm gonna be like just a broken sink, just running my mouth all the goddamn time.
Nice.
I don't know how to handle this. Like Big E, they want us to, accidentally kill a planet. Like,
okay,
they're going to pay us a shitload of money, though.
That's fair. And what's Defenders got this week?
Oh, snap. Of course, I'll be over on Notorious DMG TV tomorrow night for some Cyberpunk. Wednesday, we are running Rime of the Frost Maiden, but we're doing it with the Dark Trails DCC-based system. Friday we'll be back to our evil 5th ed campaign, the Hollow Throne, and then Saturday's Free League Publishing, isn't it? So we'll be back for some Forbidden Lands.
Yeah.
Right on. Yeah.
That's all right. What I got. Awesome. So on that note, we got to catch Matt up a little bit. It was a little bit of a transition session last time as we were kind of wrapping up some of the bits from the previous. So if you're just tuning in for the first time, this is the crew of the Khalidi Sinum, and the crew has now undergone some slight change. They're space truckers. They work off a lease with Weyland-Yutani. They can take some of their own jobs, but they're also frequently called in to do certain Weyland-Yutani gigs. Those are usually slightly more questionable and possibly dangerous. And the first job went okay. Nearly killed the captain when he got attacked by a scorpion and got poisoned and stuff. So Bud nearly died in the very first mission. But otherwise, you were able to successfully complete that one. There was kind of an awkward moment in the first job where one of the local colonists was just killed right in front of you, cold-blooded. By a group of like special corporate mercs in like the specific gear that's going to be important in a minute. And other than that, everything went okay. Even Marshall, our previous android crewman, made a friend, little pen pal he's got, this other android who's been sending notes. And then you went to your second gig and you're like, all right, we're going to do some synthetic delivery. We're going to pick up about 200 or 100, I think it was 100 synthetics, and we're going to deliver them somewhere. But then it turned out that they were renegade synthetics who had taken over the production factory, almost got out of that alive, but then a firefight, broke out, and unfortunately, Captain McCall and yes, this is definitely going to be a romantic comedy. I'm pretty sure.
That's where it's headed.
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like Silas and Chet, new characters. Is there a mom, or is this or are you just going to like latch on to Veronica Marsbar as your new mother figure, Chet?
Can I make the mother of the game my rival? No.
No, that's not bad.
We'll derail this game. Don't do that to me.
I think it'd be perfect. So yeah, you lost a few on that job. You came back to Anchor Point Station. You almost lost your ship, but thankfully Frenchie managed to convince him to give you one more shot. And now Frenchie is on probation, sort of, as like the new captain. And so you've taken on a company agent and a company agent's kid. So you've got Silas Worthington, Chet Worthington. We haven't met Silas yet. But we have met Chet. Chet got to run around in a ship a bit as they were kind of prepping and found all sorts of these little nooks and crannies. But you were required as part of like your probationary period. You all had to take on a specific gig. Do you remember what that gig was and what that entailed? Does anyone remember that? Any details from that?
I think we were going back to the planet that we were first.
Well, I know.
Mission.
The big thing is we have all the equipment and the big team we gotta take somewhere.
Dog hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the dog hunt.
Dog catchers. Yeah.
Dog catchers. That's it. And then on the way, we were doing some job with that initial colony, right?
Right.
Is that correct? Yeah.
Right.
And also something with Leo Pickett and the Transport Authority.
Well, you got a contact because you had saved an ICC rep. on when you were on that like synthetics gig. He gave you a contact, but y'all decided to take it a Wayland Yutani job instead. But it's a name you can kind of tuck in your Rolodex, and you can pull it out when the time's right to maybe find another job later. But yeah, you have kind of two jobs. One of them is the one you selected, like Frenchie just took it, and that was to deliver some construction equipment to Tanaka 5. Because they were having some geological instability. It's a planet you've already been. You already had some contacts there. Simple, easy. Let's get it done. But on the way, as you're running through what's called the Gauntlet, you have to take a specialty group of corporate mercs to an undisclosed location. You haven't been given instructions or anything yet. And so we're going to pick up right there, right at the last moment where we ended up our previous session, where you all are in the cargo bay area of your ship. Everyone's talking. It's kind of friendly. No one's in a really grumpy mood or anything yet. But then as you see these big old pallet jacks are coming in with different crates of supplies and cryopods. We'll say everybody, probably with the exception of Silas, is in the area for this. And Big E, Clover, you both kind of like maybe pale a little bit or do a double take. And you see being wheeled in within these we'll call them semi-transparent crates. You see all sorts of gear, like armor gear, like kind of exosuits of some kind with the same kind of mask that hides the face of whoever's underneath it, who shot and killed a colonist right in front of you when you were left out in the desert of Tanaka 5. So we'll pick it up there, and you two tell me how you're reacting to this.
Clover's going to do a big bony elbow to the side of Biggie.
What?
Do you see?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to miss. Yeah.
Now, Biggie, were you were in the car, right? When we were on the planet?
Oh, yeah, no, I remember Harlan Versch. He was washed away. Was his name Harlan?
It definitely is an H name. Harlan sounds right. I'll have to go check my notes. But
Herbie.
Harold. I don't know.
Haberdasher. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, so I suppose best thing to do is not make them mad. Hey!
Probably let the
call out
captain
to some
know.
of them.
You see, there's a mix of crew here, because you can see that some of them are just station technicians that are just affixing the additional cryopods to one of your cargo bays. Some of them are in kind of dress uniform, or at least casual dress uniform of like Marines, and others seem to be more along the lines of the scientist engineer types. There's about, not counting the technicians for the station, there's probably about 12 in total. You only know the name of one. Who's called herself Zona Winter. You can see her right now. She's talking with Frenchie, your captain, and they're just going over logistics or something. And yeah, and like when you say hey, and you see a couple of these big burly folk kind of look up at you briefly, give you a quick curt nod, and then you see they whisper something to each other and start laughing.
Y'all like jokes?
You kind of look at each other. Yeah, I like jokes.
Yeah. Well, what do you call a podiatrist on some offshoot planet?
I don't know.
A Dr. Side Toe.
They kind of look at each other. I don't get it.
It'll be fun later, trust me. It'll be worth it. It'll pay off.
All right. And you can see they just kind of walk on past you, and they're like helping wheel in.
Hey, y'all
It looks
smoke?
like weaponry, by the way. They have like these crates of like heavy weaponry and stuff. They just wheel on past you.
All right. Well, welcome aboard.
And they kind of look over their shoulder, shake their heads a little bit, and keep on walking.
So I'm going to assume that we have some type of radio.
You're all in the same area. Like you're all. I'm just to make it easier. All of you, with the exception of Silas, you're in and around the cargo bay. All of you are either helping carry some stuff on, just sitting off to the side, speaking with one of the people who are who are loading up or who are going to be new crew for a little while. So you're all kind of here.
I'm gonna try to go over to our new captain.
Okay, and so you walk up and you can see Frenchie and Zone. Zone is there and she's talking to you, and basically she's saying to you, once we get started, Captain, once we're starting to spool up into FTL, I'll give you coordinates that you can punch into Mother. And then when we drop out of Cryo, I'll give you some more details as to the mission.
Sure thing. You got it.
All right. She kind of clasps you on the back and nods at Clover, who walks up and then goes to join the same people who had just wandered off and were laughing at Big E.
Oh,
So
Doc, we're in so much.
I'm not sure you even know the half of it. Did you see what just arrived? And so I'll kind of pull him out of earshot a bit over towards Biggie.
Yeah, the ape suits. Yeah.
Well, there's something you need to know about them ape suits.
What you got?
Go ahead, Clover.
Individuals in those suits were the ones back on the planet that killed that civilian that was with us.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Like-
Hamish.
Oh, okay. Well, I knew this wasn't going to be good. I didn't know it was going to be that not good.
And they seem to actually recognize us. Because as soon as they came in, they were actually kind of laughing at this one over here.
They're laughing at you. Big E, were you telling jokes?
Well,
He tried, but they
I'll
were
let-
laughing before that.
well, you know what I
Oh.
do, right? Can I let you know
Uh-huh.
a little secret, Clover?
What's that?
Well, sometimes I try to make people underestimate me right away. Kind of see how they react, and you can get under their skin a little better when they think you ain't worth nothing.
I can speak from personal experience that is a successful approach that you
Yep.
take.
Yeah, for some reason, growing up where I grow up and pronouncing things the way I do, people are going to dismiss you.
It's very true,
Mhm.
as I have myself.
Oh, well, I mean, then you compound shit. You do that with the fact that I ain't that smart sometimes. For real. Well, just rolling the dice.
It's true.
Hmm.
So Frenchie, we have this job, and how long are they gonna be on our ship with us?
I don't even know where we're going yet. They once we get ready to hit FTL, they're telling us where we're going, and then once we drop out, they'll give us the final coordinates. So
So we're
I
gonna be
really-
in cryo. They're not going to be in cryo.
they're going to be in cryo once we all come out. I don't have all the logistics hammered out quite yet, but once we hit FTL, they'll give us the coordinates. We'll get it punched in. We'll all go in cryo. Wake up when they tell us to, and then they'll give us the final bit. So, yeah. We're fucked.
So at this point, as we see, is like we're kind of panning around this cargo room. You see the three of them huddled together talking. Chet's probably playing on his video game console or something, sitting on something he shouldn't. Mars Bar is looking at her bunion. I don't know. You see two more figures walk in. One of whom is very clearly a synthetic. She's kind of definitely an older model synthetic. Has the kind of navy blue, like singular suit. You can tell that she's got these almost like bug eyes, like these googly eyes, and it's kind of an uncanny feel to it. She has like this almost curly permed hair. as she wanders in. And she's sort of twitchy movements here and there. And then standing beside her is Matt. What does your character look like?
He's wearing a very nice suit. He has well-coiffed hair, slicked back. He is carrying a briefcase. And, yeah, no nonsense about him. Marching on board this ship.
He looks like Paul Reiser.
He looks like Paul Reiser from Mad About You. Not from Aliens.
Okay. So as you wander in, Silas, you look around this dump of a ship. Okay. You see your son sitting on top of something he shouldn't, playing a video game. You see a woman in the corner like messing around with a bunion. You see three of them, one of whom three other folks sitting around talking or standing around talking. One of whom's wearing like a Tommy Bahama like Hawaiian shirt. And you can see that there's definitely the loading process is pretty close to being done. They're kind of loading up some gear. So what's Silas's first impression here of this?
He's not too impressed that everybody's just kind of just lounging about, especially when we've got work to be done. He's gonna walk into the area. He's gonna open up his briefcase. He's gonna pull out a clipboard and a very fancy gold-plated pen and go, which one of you is, and look down at his clipboard, Frenchie?
That's me. Yeah, you got me. You must be our new corporate friend. Pleasure to meet you.
He just kind of looks at you and makes some notes on his clipboard, doesn't answer. All right, so you're the captain now?
I'm the captain now.
Okay, well, this is my ship, and you'll be taking orders from me. This is property of Wayland Yutani.
Okay.
Did Bud leave you any papers or anything, leaving the ship to you in his name?
No, he died suddenly and violently.
Okay.
So there was no smooth transition.
Right. He makes more notes. Okay. And what is everybody doing right now? Why are we not preparing for our trip?
We were just discussing with our new guests here about some of the needs they had, and we were just getting ready to go off and start getting that set up for them.
So your record for completing jobs successfully has not been too good, and you have come under the attention of the Wayland Yutani Corporation, and that's why I'm now here.
Sounds right. Yeah.
I understand my boy arrived previously. I trust that you have taken care of him.
Yeah, Chet's a great kid. You know, luckily that apple fell quite a ways from the tree. He's pretty all right.
Yes.
Frenchie's been super nice, Dad. He even offered me a beer.
I did.
Silas doesn't react. He just put down his clipboard. That's good, son. That's good. Glad to hear you're making friends. All right, so what is the game plan here? He looks down his clipboard. Frenchie?
Yeah, we're once they finish getting the last of this loaded up, we're going to set on our way. So if you excuse me, I got a free pre-flight checklist to go through. So
sure. You, and he turns and he points at Big E. Can you take me my quarters?
Sure thing, partner. And when you hear that, it's like the voice you were not expecting, because Biggie has, like myself, a green mohawk, and he's got all sorts of piercings, and he wears like some weird, whatever the time period band t-shirt and jeans and boots and stuff like that. So to hear that voice come out of him is just really strange. Sure thing, partner. I'm gonna make sure that nobody doesn't get in.
Sure. You're Eugene Ellsworth?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or you could call me Big E.
He makes
he
some
has
notes
ferrets with stupid names.
He makes notes on his notepad. What's this about foreign animals on the ship? That's not no, that is not allowed under
They're
company
domestic.
policy.
They're
I know.
domestic. Don't call
Well,
them foreign animals.
We'll look into this once we land.
What's there to
Clover's
look
gonna-
into? They've all got their cryopods. They're kept up when.
You have mini cryopods
Who doesn't?
for your rodents.
Well, do you got a dog?
No, I have my boy.
Will you expect your boy to not be in a cryo chamber? I mean, come on.
He's not a rodent.
Okay, well, it's a good thing that you pay attention to your son. That's good. But come on, let's go. Show you your room.
And remember that they get the VIP room. They get that VIP room.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no pretenses there. He definitely takes them to the VIP room.
And you get there, it's retrofitted. It's a nice. They've changed the layout a little bit. They've added these two private cryopods for both Chet and Silas. Lockable door. Even the captain doesn't have access to this. Like this is compared to everywhere else in the ship. This looks like actually a fairly respectable mid-level hotel room. Like nothing too fancy. like a
Holiday
Hampton Inn or something. Yeah. Yeah.
Clover definitely went chasing afterward because she noticed that she didn't get an introduction and she wanted to make sure that she got to meet him before they kind of went on their way. So she was standing right there and was totally ignored, but she will make sure to insert herself into the
Sure, you're walking along and
introductions.
you're walking along and he's put his notepad back in his briefcase and he's walking with his son. Chet's filling him in on what's happened, and he takes notice of Clover.
She plays with the ferrets too. I think that's his girlfriend.
Clover does not know what to do with that. No, what? No. Yeah, and she's kind of dirty hands, but kind of wiping them down and like making a point to kind of shake your hand and I'm Ada Clover. I take care of hydroponics and I'm the scientist here. It's so very nice to have you on board. She's fairly disheveled looking, but she's kind of trying to kind of like smooth the hair down and look.
Yeah, he sees your kind of dirty hand and he just kind of does not shake back. Because yes, Clover, we have quite a bit of information on you. We have some things to discuss later. Things that possibly the others may not want. You may not want the others to know.
I will be
we can talk
more
about
than
that
happy
later.
to make all the time you need.
Very good.
But I do want to assure you, though, that the ferrets are very well separated from everything, and she'll definitely kind of jump to Big E's defense on that one. That they're very well paved.
Again, with these rodents, why is everybody so infatuated with these rodents? This is
I think it's
why
because
you
they
don't
can't have
complete
kids,
jobs.
Dad.
Hey, it's because you gotta love somebody sometime, right?
Because they can't have kids. My boy, you hear him? He's the most logical one here.
Yes.
Well, you done had kids for us, so it's fine.
What?
You done had a kid for us.
I
I think English is his second language.
think so too, son. Just smile and nod.
And Clover will
Yes.
say that the ferrets are actually very important for the morale. It's important when we're working together, to have that team atmosphere, and we definitely work very well together here as a crew. And
Well, not according to Captain Bud's logs. I have access to everything that he logged into Mother during his time as captain, and no, those ferrets were on their way out. He had some mighty big concerns about them.
well, I mean, so did I at early points, but I've definitely come around to seeing their utility. But anyhow, I'll leave you to it, and I'll look
Yes.
forward to our conversation.
Yes, me too,
Later.
Clover. Thank you.
And I'll sort of send a concerned look Big E's way as I walk the other way.
Hey, you know what? You're with the company and all. And what you say ultimately ends up kind of going and all. But this might be one of them things you may want to change your mind on.
Are we at my room?
You should be back.
Oh, yeah, here's your room.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Eugene.
Okay. So as they wander away, we'll probably say something like, Veronica, since I think you're one of the ones lingering in the cargo bay, the new android model will kind of waddle up to you, kind of has like a Rue McClanahan from Golden Girls look to her with big old eyes, and it's just in his basic, excuse me, madam, can you direct me to where the cryo room is, please?
I'm just gonna, after the exchange I just saw and being dismissed as well, I'm taking a mental note of that, by the way. Yeah, I find it interesting that the synth is the one talking to me. I'm just gonna stare at her. I'm not even gonna respond. I'm a little too busy with my bunion right now.
Ah, that bunion looks abnormal in size, in color. Are you well?
Yeah, I'm just, it keeps me company.
I understand. I will find the cryopods myself. And kind of turns around and just starts to waddle away and disappears from view. So we can kind of fast forward a little bit as there's a little bit of time as preparations are being are underway. Things are getting locked down for flight. Final checklist, some communications come and go. Frenchie, there's some stuff that you have to sign off on. Silas, there's some stuff that you have to sign off on. Various members of the anchor point stations, like maintenance crews, comes in. There's like a final run through with Big E to make where everything has been adjusted, corrected, instructions in case something goes wrong. Really like this kind of very lengthy process. But eventually, you all one by one are kind of being put into your cryopods, and those of you that are in the general crew cryopods on Deck A, it's Esther who's there, kind of waddling up and making sure everything's fine. Do not worry, Captain. I am a most capable model. I will ensure your safety and the safety of the ship during the faster than light travel. You can rely on me.
Thank you, Esther. That's great. Keep it from falling apart.
I will do that. And she has like, again, huge eyes. I want to point out that she's like, it's like they're a little too close. They're really big. I will keep it from falling apart. Now, you go ahead and sleep, Captain. Sleep. Breathe the gas in and rest easy, knowing that Esther is on the job.
Thanks.
So there's a little moment like that with every single person, but eventually everything kind of spools up and you get going. Now, eventually, as you guys are going through the usual dream sequences that you all have, like the things that you kind of are instructed to kind of keep in your memory. Oh yeah, Silas, Chet, what would we say what's the memory with the image that they're constantly playing as you go into these like long sleep moments, these moments when you go down and you're encouraged by the company itself to dream? What is it that comes to mind for either of the two of you? One image, memory, person, anything like that? Ammunition
Chet's
for me to
mother.
Oh, okay, excellent. All right. Is there a particular memory with Chet's mother that you remember that you replay in your head?
Question. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I'll think on it.
Okay, yeah. It doesn't. We don't have to get into it too deeply now. Chet, is there something in particular that's running through your mind for this travel?
I think he's just really excited by all the stuff that he found. He's like, I think as everybody's being put down, the main thing on his mind is he's imagining if he can find a crawl space to like look in and like see what those people are doing.
Okay.
And like, what it would be like if he could get into like one of those armor suits and like just this big, amazing fantasy of using all that military hardware.
I like it. Okay. So then one by one, all of you wake up. And Frenchie, you fell asleep. You wake up, and there is this wonderfully giant-eyed face of Esther staring down at you with a crooked, uncanny grin. And she says, "Breathe slowly, Captain. We have arrived at our destination. Colonel Winters has instructed me to wake you and the crew." And so she's going through, beep, 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 waking everybody up. You're all awake. Everything's fine. I'm not going to do any rolls, but you're all waking up. You're a little groggy. You got you're kind of like your underclothes on. You got your tank tops and your shorts and stuff. And all of you, one by one, are waking up. You're going to your locker rooms. You're taking like maybe a shower, getting a change, clothes. Everyone's starving, super hungry. But Esther says, "I beg your pardon, Captain, but Colonel Winters instructed me to tell you to come to the bridge when you have fully awoken, prior to any consumption. She has been waiting for you. She says she has further instructions on the mission."
All right, I'm gonna get my clothes on. I'll be right there. Rest of you feel free to get started without me. I'll head on up.
Okay. So is anybody else trying to go? And I would say Chet and Silas, you wake up separately. You wake up in your VIP room. Like Esther comes and gets you. Everything's fine. Like you're probably up early. You've already had something to eat. So by the time everybody else has, like, you see Biggie and Clover and Mars Bar enter into the cafeteria on the ship, the mess area, you two are already done, getting up, leaving. Chet, you got your video game thing out again still. There's activity in the halls. There's men and women who are in full kind of marine getup at this point. They've got, like actual armor. They don't have their helmets on yet, their ape suit helmets on, but you can see they have everything else. They got active weapons that are strapped to their shoulders and such. And they kind of expect you all to get out of the way from them. And all of you, as you're wandering to the mess hall, this is what you're seeing as you're moving up. It's an entirely different view than you've seen before. But Silas, you would also probably be invited to that briefing on the bridge if you wanted, if you so.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go.
Okay.
I'll say, "Hey, dude," to Chet as he's walking by.
Hi. Good morning,
Oh, good
Biggie.
morning. It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. You see, like, it's obvious that he was meaning to try and like be a little sneaky and follow his dad and like see what was going on, but now he's been caught by an adult.
Oh, shit, bud. Sorry.
No,
And
no,
then
that's Did you see the armor that they had on?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yes. Oh my god. I mean,
Well-
I guess it's cool. Whatever.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think it's cool. It's all right. But no, man, I'd like to get my hands on some of that hardware, just see how it works.
Yeah.
Just figure it out and maybe see if I can make it better too.
We should find a reason that we need to use it for the ship. Huh?
Maybe we don't mess with theirs. Maybe it's something that maybe we could somehow, after, like, you gonna be with us for a while? Like,
I mean,
a few jobs?
Given what I read about your captain, probably. Yeah.
All right. How about this? How about we see if we can find some sort of like salvage type? When we get to a station, we see about building some stuff onto it together.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I gotta go in there.
right.
I'm gonna go not be nosy.
You do what you do.
That's
And
not-
you do what you do.
Don't run off yet. Let me take a look at you.
Cat, get your grandma fingers off of me. Jesus.
Don't talk to me like that.
Okay,
I'm
get
gonna-
your grandma fingers off me, Satan. Sorry.
In my medical expertise, I need to look you over.
Nope. No, you do not.
I'm gonna reach out and just like do a really quick once over, looking at his eyes, and I'm gonna put my hand on his forehead and see how his temperature is. You know, like a mom medical examination.
Leave my boy alone. You heard the boy. Leave him alone.
Do you know the effects that could happen from cryo on a youngin'?
I've had extensive training, thank you.
Training schmeaning. Training ain't the same as doing it. For real.
It's also not the same as having like some crazy like sleeping pill addiction, but whatever.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So
He'll do his best to like slip away from you.
yeah.
He probably can't fully get away from the hand on the forehead, but he squirms and
Ah, such unruly children, I'm telling you. Back in my day, when you went to the doctor, you just sat there and you shut your mouth.
well, eventually, like I don't know, maybe the 19th, 20th century, eventually people learned that no means no. Okay.
I'll tell you when no means no. You don't know the meaning of the word. Silas?
Dad!
So
Silas.
Clover's gonna go over to her buddy Veronica and just kind of like put her arm around her and just kind of whisper in her ear, like,
What?
"You're
Huh?
right, but we should go. I
Oh,
think we should just go.
oh, I
him go
am
with
kind
his
of
dad.
hungry.
Let's just go get some food."
Sorry, I'm
Can
just
you
hangry
believe-
right now.
Can you believe that they just? And as we're walking away, I'm just gonna be like, "Can you believe they just walk in and just weren't even
Like
gonna
they own the
introduce
place.
to me at all? Like I had to go chasing after them to
Yeah.
just
You
do an
shake your
introduction.
hand
so rude."
just because you have dirt on it sometimes.
I just, this is, I mean, we knew it was going to be a hard transition losing the two of them, but I mean, this is even worse than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So-
Munchkins.
This is going to be our sort of breakfast banter, is just going to
Yeah.
be our lack
Okay.
of satisfaction with this transition process.
So we'll say then, Frenchie, Silas, Chet, you can go ahead, and if you want to try to sneak onto the bridge, you're welcome to try to roll something if you wanted to give it a go. So go ahead and roll if you want to roll mobility. That's fine with me.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's opposed against
Okay.
what's on the bridge.
Okay. Do you like being sneaky? So mobility, you say. Do it. Eek.
One. Okay. So as you start coming on, like you're right behind Silas, you're right behind him, like really drafting him and everything, and then you try to slide over, and you just feel a big meaty hand just clamp down right on your shoulder, and it's just this Marine who's looking down at you. Kid, get going. Just kind of spins you around and just sort of, not roughly, but just sort of pushes you back out into the hall. And then the doors to the bridge close. And so, Frenchie, you're in there. Silas, you're there. And you can see that there's Colonel Winters. And you can see that there's a handful of other people on the bridge right now. One of them is up at the piloting station, Frenchie, and they're like, "How the fuck does he fly this thing? Why is this so sticky? What the hell is this?" And
So I
just
don't lose my grip there, buddy. Why don't you get on my seat?
and you can hear Colonel's like, "Oh, Captain Frenchie, I'm glad you're here. He's been having some trouble with the maneuvering. He claims you've made some modifications. Not important just yet. Mr. Worthington, both of you have been cleared from what I'm about to tell you. Obviously, there are certain aspects of this mission that need to remain confidential, so limit how much that you convey to your crew. We're here, basically in the middle of the nowhere, slightly outside the Ida-Lepra system here, chasing down a ping that Weyland-Yutani received not too long ago on Anchor Point Station. The science vessel, the USCSS Lavenza, is very much overdue for return to Anchor Point, and they were carrying some precious cargo, the specific details of which are need to know, and you are not yet in that area. They radioed, they messaged forward that they were beginning their return, that they had suffered some, well, let's just call it failure, setback, but they were returning, and they should have long returned by now. And we have been monitoring the gauntlet here for any signs of ship transmission, and we are currently en route. We are about, she looks down at like a big old meaty like military watch on her wrist, and she says we are roughly 1 hour away from finding her. Our job is to board the Lavenza, ascertain what is wrong, to get the ship up and running once more, and return it either to Anchor Point or to Thetis. You, Captain Frenchie, and your crew are here to aid us in that. We've been led to believe that all of you are capable workers. You're a good pilot. I've heard that your engineer, Big E, has some skill with machinery. And you're here to basically run assistance should we need it. From our sensors, we currently can tell that the Lavenza is not under power. So you're gonna, if possible, we're gonna get it under power, and if not, then we're going to commence towing procedures to return it to Anchor Point. What we're going to do is we're going to do a sweep of the vessel first. I'll take myself and a few others. We'll do a sweep to ensure breathable oxygen and that there's no unforeseen issues. And then we will wave you all through. Any questions about this?
Sounds straightforward to me.
Wave us through for what?
To lend whatever assistance is necessary. As I said, Big E we could certainly help some of our engineers with looking into why the ship is not under power, if the reactor could be reinitiated. Frenchie himself, and I've come to learn that Clover as well, are both capable.
I do good with techs.
Yeah. So, whatever. It's a very simple job for you. Mr. Worthington, I'm unaware of your skills, but however you can lend a hand, I would, however, recommend to keep an eye out for your son. The Venza was carrying certain cargo of a volatile nature, and we've noticed that your son has a habit of touching things, sticking his nose where he might not necessarily belong, and that could prove harmful on the Lavenza.
Well, boys will be boys.
It sounds like they really got your kid figured out there, buddy.
He's harmless. I know what he's up
He's
to
a
at all
good
times.
kid,
Don't you worry about him.
So we'll have a variety of tasks. We're going to do, when we do our sweep, we'll have an inventory list of things that they can work on to assist in this. Now, we have 12 in our party and a handful in yours. We do have a security complement to ensure protection. But I do want to make it clear, everything on that ship is the property of Weyland-Yutani. Both the physical and the informational. Anybody taking information, items, and disseminating it in a way will have a problem, not just with myself, but with the company as well. It's understood?
Absolutely. And I will make sure that my crew understands how serious that is.
Excellent. Okay. Captain French, you can go ahead and take your seat if you like. We're going to need to probably commence some umbilical docking procedures at some point.
Sure thing.
Okay, excellent. And she kind of looks up and down like Silas. She's like, and Mr. Worthington, you do whatever it is that you do. There's a tone to that.
Yeah.
A little bit of a tone.
Turns and he leaves. And he says, so we're done here?
Yes, you're dismissed.
Very good. Brett grabs his briefcase, leaves. Is Chet waiting right outside, or did Chet take off?
I don't know.
Yeah, not too far away.
Okay.
Like close enough, like you probably know like his general MO. You know, he's close enough that he would be trying to listen into the people as they come out. Like he's a nosy little bastard.
Okay. So all of you are in the mess, get your food, and then you begin to kind of spread out, check out the different areas. And again, you're kind of bumping into folks, but as the hour progresses, most of the Marines and the crew that is actually going to be doing the initial sweep of the ship, they move down towards the cargo level, to deck C, so they get ready to go through the umbilical. Veronica, when you kind of check out the med bay, you can see that there's a person in there, and they're kind of going through your things. You can see they're like mumbling to themselves, or like, who organizes this? This isn't alphabetical. This doesn't even make. And he kind of turns around and he sees you, and he's like, "Oh, is this your lab?"
My domain, yes, you're correct.
Oh, yes.
I'm an organized mess type person, but I know where everything is.
Excellent. Then perhaps you can help me. And he kind of wanders over to you, kind of extends a hand, introduces himself. I'm Dr. Chapman. I am a medical doctor in this unit. He kind of looks.
Are you my understudy? Did they send me one already?
He kind of laughs, like nervously, like, I heard about you.
When did you graduate, youngin?
10 years ago.
Oh.
Anyhow, this is a little embarrassing.
Don't be embarrassed. Just, if you need me to look at something, just come right out with it.
I seem to have misplaced my surgical kit. You wouldn't happen to have one that I could borrow?
You misplaced your surgical kit?
I thought it was in one of the containers that was loaded, but I can't find it now.
And you were talking about my mess.
That's a fair point. Yes. I apologize. I'm just a little frustrated, and this is my first time.
It's your first time.
It's my first time on this kind of. Colonel Winters is she's very influential in the company. If my performance on this mission is satisfactory and she puts in a good word, then doors open, and I would like them to open so that I can walk through them. You understand?
Oh, good. Yes, you got doors, I have glass ceilings. I completely understand.
He kind of looks, yes. About that surgical kit?
Oh, sure. I've got an extra. Here you go.
And he's like, why would you put it underneath the sink? Nope, thank you. I appreciate
Don't
it.
ask. It's my extra backup.
He kind of holds it up, and he's like, thank you. You're a lifesaver.
Yeah, you're gonna need to sterilize that first. You know procedures.
Why? What did you... Never mind. It's fine.
It's my
It's
backup to my backup. Always be prepared.
Yes, that is a good motto. Thank you. I'll see you on the ship.
Take care.
So he,
Come by anytime if you need me to look at something.
Thank you. Door closes and he leaves. Frenchie, how do you debrief everybody? What do you tell them, if anything?
Yeah, I'll give them like, all right, there's some old derelict ship out here. Something fishy went on with it. We don't know the details. They don't want to tell us. We're going to dock with it, and they're going to go make sure it's safe. And then they're going to give us a list of tasks to complete. I do got to warn you, they threw out there that everything on the ship belongs to the company, and any information in the ship belongs to the company. And if we take anything, they're probably going to throw us into space.
All right, so it's a salvage mission and not a salvage mission.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on.
If
they can't get the ship working, we're going to tow it back. They do, unlike our new friend over there, they got pretty good high opinion of you there, Big E. So I was pretty happy to hear that.
What? Oh, yeah. So did they ask for us specifically, or did you offer us up? Like, did you want fries with that?
They asked specifically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And is it just me that's going, or are you?
All of us are going. We're all going to have work to do.
All right. Well, so we're gonna just do a little umbilical cord thing, and
head on in and do whatever it is. They said there's potentially dangerous material on board, so we need to be careful.
Oh, so I should put my environment suit on?
Yeah, it kind of sounded like the kind of dangerous material that might blow up.
Oh, so I should put my armor? Well,
maybe
my armor probably wouldn't.
No, if it blows up, I think we're all just screwed. Great thing, though, is their boss, they gave, and I'll look around, like, where's Chet? Where's Silas? They gave Silas so much shit. It was glorious to see. It was a lot of fun. I wish you all could have seen it. It was fun.
We're there, aren't we?
Were you? I thought it was just
I'm at the
crew.
I'm at the briefing. I'm sitting in the mess with the rest of the.
Before you guys get there, it's kind of one of those like.
Okay, yeah. I'll say that off to the side.
He walks in the door right in the middle of
quiet.
sentence,
and everybody stops.
And you know they're talking about you.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Go
ahead, Size.
Did you tell the most important thing that they're not to take or touch anything, and it's all company property? All right.
I did. All information and all physical items belong to the company. Taking it or disseminating any information will be met with extreme punishment.
Maybe this crew can complete a job successfully. Let's see.
We'll see.
Is Chet coming with us?
Of course Chet's coming with us. I'm not going to leave my boy by himself.
But it could be dangerous.
We'll all
handle
keep an eye on Chet. Chet's got him. He's a capable kid.
Look, if I'm like when I get if I'm going to try and do like a project manager or something, they're not going to care how fast I can run a mile. I need to show that I have on-job experience, right?
It's true. Chet, do you have a gun?
No.
Okay, we'll have to think about that.
Fuck yeah.
Okay, so
do we need a gun on this?
Yeah, that was just an in general question, just a life question.
Always be prepared.
Dad, I promise if it's dangerous, and they want me to be prepared, I'll be very careful.
Wait, how old are you again, Chet?
12 and a half.
And he's this tall.
Oh, okay. So half a year, and yeah, you should get a gun because you'll be a man.
So you hear on the radio, I'd like to interrupt this weird silence. You hear, Captain Frenchy, can you come up to the bridge? We're about to commence docking procedures. Can you get your engineer down to the umbilical?
I'll give you got it. We're on our way. I'll give Big E a good slap on the shoulder, like they like you, buddy. Head on down.
Yeah, glad somebody does, bestie.
Those two are going to go docking.
What is 12-year-old Chet looking at?
Well, I
You
mean,
get it? Docking? Like, never mind.
yeah, I mean, we dock all the time. I don't understand.
Good luck, Biggie. You're gonna do great.
So I'm gonna need 2 rolls. So Frenchie, you get down there. You can see through the forward view screen this unpowered ship coming up. It's super dark. There's no light. You don't see signs of anything in any direction. You're like in the middle of dead space. Like there's just nothing here. You get up to the helm. And you're closing in. You got some forward view lights are kind of flashing here and there, and occasionally a light will kind of go over the hull, and eventually it'll cast over the little section on the hull that actually has the name of the ship, the Lavenza, and you can see pretty much everybody has started to move away, but the colonel is still here, kind of got her arms folded, is standing up behind you. Is like, well, on with it. So go ahead and roll a piloting test.
Yeah.
And then Big E, go ahead and roll a heavy machinery test as you get down to the to your section where there's like the little the umbilical controls on deck C. That's a success on the piloting, no problem. Nothing fancy. It doesn't impress her. Do you want to push it?
Yeah, I was about to say I want to push that.
You can clear your stress, by the way. Like once you were.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'll push it again.
Oh, will you? Okay. 3 is enough to impress somebody. Like you can actually literally spend a stunt to impress somebody. So like I don't think
Okay.
I'll
call
probably,
it good.
You're probably good at 3.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's just smooth and simple, and you can see she kind of mutters under her breath. Like, better than my pilot. You ever been in the Corps?
Yeah, I served for a while.
I would like to spend my
makes
extra
sense.
success to impress as well.
Okay, and so down on deck C, where you're at, you're right by the docking umbilical. You can see there's the airlock and everything, and there is a squad ready to go. They're in full gear. All of them have those helmets on. You can see like the little lights are shining up. They're kind of talking to one another, and it's like coming through almost breathy, like a Darth Vader type sound. And they all have heavy guns. You see smart guns. You see pulse rifles. You see they're all just decked to the nines with gear. And there's a handful of folks that are behind that are also in like evac suits and whatnot, but they're not decked out like this. They're kind of hanging back. They have various like metallic cases that they're kind of sitting there waiting, ready to go. Some of them are kind of going through certain procedures, but there looks to be 6 people that are just geared up as clear as day, and you can hear like a little sound in your ear in your comm that says, all right, now's a good time. So you roll your heavy machinery, you run through a couple different controls, and you hear, and you know you have good lock, and so you have a good solid lock in the umbilical.
So when I'm doing that, I'm actually talking and trying to joke around with the mercs and all that, and I'm just doing that behind me.
Yeah. One of the guys is like, so knock knock, to just somebody else, and they're like, who's there? Podiatrist who? I don't know, but this motherfucker mentioned something about it, and I still don't get the joke. And then they all start laughing. So then, but they look over at you, like everything goes fine, there's no hiccups, and you see like a couple of them kind of look over at you and give you like a little curt nod, which is probably a sign of some begrudging respect. Airlock on your side opens up. They step in, closes down. Next one opens up, and you can see they begin to kind of half walk, half kind of float through the umbilical into the Lavenza, and then you can't see them any further. The handful of folks are staying behind. All of you are on comms. Up on the bridge, Frenchie, Colonel's like, well, I better go suit up. Again, we'll flag you forward when we're ready. And she
Sounds good.
Smacks the back of your chair, and then she heads out. Moments later, Biggie, you can see she comes through, and she's passing in as well. Over the course of the next 45 minutes to an hour. You can all do whatever you want, but during that time, everyone's kind of got access to comms, and you're hearing like a lot of basic, quiet military chatter, right? Like they're clearing corners, they're saying clear, clear, like, oh, we got some toasters here, and you can see, oh, now what the hell do you think that is? That's strange. And then all of a sudden, like you hear like, you guys find any crew? Negative, Colonel. We ain't no crew. And like this communication's just kind of going back and forth the whole time. And after about an hour, Frenchie, you get a communication from Colonel Winters. And she says, "All right, Captain, you can go ahead and set your crew over. We've got this satisfactory clear. We're gonna need Biggie's help down by the reactor if you don't mind, and we can use yours and whoever else is capable of going through logs and systems up on the bridge on the Lavenza.
Sure thing.
They'll direct you once you get across."
We're on our way.
So, does anybody want to stay back and not go on the ship?
No.
No.
Yes.
Okay, Veronica hangs back. No problem. So Veronica hangs back. She's the only one. You and Esther are left on the ship, just you and her. And she's like the whole time, "Tell me about your bunion." And so you just talk about bunions she's very curious. Anyway, the rest of you get your
It's a short conversation.
It's a very short conversation. Let's not role play that one all the way out.
No.
So,
Good.
the rest of you get across, and you're kind of pointed in different directions. Like there's a couple people who meet you in the airlock, and then the door opens up beyond the umbilical, and you all begin walking inside. And all of you are not 10 feet past the airlock before you notice on the ground there are ripped apart synthetic bodies. 5, 6, 7. You see arms just piled up. Everything's kind of been pushed to the sides of the wall. You can see there's dried up, kind of the dried up fluid, that white fluid. You're not even sure how many of them there are. You take a peek and you can immediately recognize they're like Seeks in biotech, working Joe stuff. They're like old school stuff. They don't even really look human. And they're just ripped apart and they're stacked up on either side. You can see the walls filled with bullet holes, some blood streaks from time to time. And you come up and there's like an officer. They're kind of looking at you and they're like, "Captain, take whoever you need up to the bridge." Kind of points, "Head down that tunnel. You're gonna hit a ladder. Go up, hang a left. You're there. Which one of you is the engineer?"
I am.
"All right, you're coming with me."
All right.
And then I'm sure Colonel will find something else useful for you to do. And so he kind of leads you off, like the two of you head off in different directions. The rest of you go up the stairs, and as you're going up, you're noticing that kind of strange things. You're noticing that there's these metallic steps that go up, but like a few of them are bent, just completely bent. One of them is just cut in the middle. You can see like there's just a hole in the middle. You gotta step over it, or else you're worried that the metal will kind of bend down on one side. Yeah, you can see that there's definitely signs of debris everywhere. You can see there's a couple, as you pass through some bulkhead doors, a few of them have been like forced open. You can see like basically jaws of life stuff that the Marines probably were using to open it up and just to get through. And you're wandering, you're getting up there, and eventually you make it to the bridge, and you can see that up there's Colonel Winters, there's somebody else and you can't tell who. She's got her helmet off, but the other one, because that other person doesn't have a name, has the helmet on. And yeah, she looks around, she's like, "All right, got a couple things needs doing. You're all okay? Y'all doing all right? I know it was a little bit of a sight to see." Everybody rolls stress, by the way, for that. Wandering, like this little trip forward, you see all these dead bodies of androids, etc., etc.
Do we go ahead and like give ourselves a point of stress?
This is what's it called? You're rolling.
Panic.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chuck.
Was it panic roll or no? I just
No.
hit the stress button.
No. You're not doing a panic roll yet. You're rolling. Oh my god, this is how long
Survival?
it's been.
No.
Oh my god, how am I?
It's one of the stats. Is it wits or empathy?
Oh my god, did we just forget how to do stress rolls?
I think we did.
I think we just forgot how to do stress. Oh my goodness, we're stupid. Especially me. Especially me. Come on, Mr. Free League. Let me out here.
Oh,
Matt,
I
this
haven't
is you.
run for like what 2 months. I haven't run Alien. It's already disappeared with other games.
Just well, don't worry about it for now. Don't worry about it for now.
I'm grabbing my book.
We'll come back. We'll come back to it later. We're coming back to it as you start moving about the ship. We'll come back to it later. I completely just blanked because I'm thinking, roll like willpower or whatever it is that we do, like roll a fear test and stuff, and like invasion. So anyway, you get up there and she starts pointing out stuff that needs done, and she's like looking around. She's like, "Hey, where's that doctor of yours?"
She stayed back on the ship. I can ping her if you want her over.
Chapman says he needs help. There's like 6 different frickin' med labs on this damn ship, and they're all just shot to hell. And I don't know. I don't think much of him. He seems to be cracking, but somebody can get down there, give him a hand. He's just trying to make sense of things. There's it's not a good sight. Okay, so other things we need, and he points over here, and he kind of points over to like one of the consoles, which is like the helm. All right, Captain, you're on that one. That's helm control. I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but that shit got shot up. Get through there. We need to get the power flowing first, but do what you can. Make sure all the wires are intact. Kind of points over to Silas. Silas, we should be getting some power here. And she gets on the horn, and she's like, "Hey, how we doing? You got power yet?" And like 5 seconds later, boop, 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 and suddenly the lights start popping up on the bridge. Stuff starts sparking. There's smoking here and there. And, like, you can see that there's wires and such hanging from the ceiling and ripped out of the walls. It says, "Silas, why don't you go ahead, Mr. Worthington, make yourself useful. See if you can sift through the logs, find something interesting." I don't know.
Gladly.
She points out, who the hell brings a kid on this ship?
That's my boy, and he's been trained. He's as a member of the company. My boy knows how to handle himself in these sorts of situations. Don't question. He's safer
I'm
here on this
excellent.
ship.
I can scout and procure. I can get into logs. I will do whatever you need me to do, sir.
And he's like, and she just thinks, it's like, why don't you just wait here for now? If we find something that's useful, we'll let you know. All right. And so, looks over at Clover.
Yes. Clover.
Clover, right. What do you do again?
I'm the scientist. I'm
Scientist.
pretty good around computers.
Computers. Okay. Well, I think we've got things situated here. Why don't you give Doc Chapman a hand? Now listen, I'm only going to tell you this once, Clover. There's 6 labs on this ship. You can go to 4 of them just fine. Any of them that you see with a door closed and my men standing in front of them, you stay away. It's the only warning you get. Understand? They're not going to give you a warning. Do you understand? Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, get going.
I'll call back to Clover. Clover, why don't you call the good doctor on over and have her give you a hand as well?
Okay. So I'll call her and say, like, I know you were probably enjoying some peace and quiet over there, but sounds like you're needed.
Oh, peace and quiet. Esther won't leave me alone.
Oh.
She's like a dog in a bone.
And
And
then
I'm
my
the
last
bone.
assignment was on a medical vessel, much like the one that you are currently docked to, except it's...
Hold on, Esther. Hold on.
And before that, I was on a colony. I was a special assistant to the...
I'm gonna, like-
Ordered to come over.
What was that, Clover?
Yeah, you've been ordered to come over and
Oh, I'm
help.
sorry, Esther. I have to go. It's imperative. I'm on a mission.
I see. Well, I will be happy to
I'm just
continue
gonna
our
leave.
conversation when you return. Door closes. Okay, so you suit up. You start headed over.
Do I get 2 stress from that? One from Esther and one when I come over?
Oh, it's so good.
Would I get any stress when I come over?
I mean, I think Esther's a delight. I don't see how she could possibly cause stress. Okay, so let's go down into engineering. So, Vicky, right as you get there, you can see there's like 2 people, one of whom is just sort of kicking something, and the other one who's just pushing buttons on a console. But whatever they do, suddenly the lights start flickering on a little bit, but you can see that there's like some emergency lights start kicking in. But everywhere you look in here, like there's you can definitely tell, like the gauges, the valves that you're looking at, everything's like in the red, everything's over, something's wrong. Like you can tell stuff's not flowing. There's like the power is just not working the way that you think it's supposed to.
Hey, did you flush the cooling lines before you turn it on?
Flush the what? No, was I supposed to do that?
Yeah, are you an engineer?
No, do I look like an engineer? And he doesn't look like an engineer.
Well, I don't either. So, all right, well, shit. Okay, just if you could please step away from that console, and I'll ask you if I need something. Is that a deal?
Yeah, all right. Listen, can you handle this? You good?
I may need an extra hand or so I do need someone around here in case I just can't get enough torque on any of these.
All right. No, fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right, go ahead. Just I don't know. Do a patrol. And they kind of lean back against the wall. All right, go ahead. Do your thing, Mr. Wizard. Roll a heavy machinery.
Okay.
Just start kind of going through, trying to assess what's going on with the engineer.
Got one.
Okay. So, from what you can tell, with one success, you don't notice that there's anything inherently. The engines don't seem inherently damaged. It just seems like power, for some reason, is not flowing to all parts of the ship. That's all you can really tell with one success. If you want to push,
Yeah,
you can totally push.
I mean, game wouldn't be very fun without stress mechanics, right?
Yeah. So, by the way, I realized the difference when you guys were walking in. Everyone just take a stress. I don't even have to make you roll. Just take a stress. With Vason, we do like fear rolls and stuff. So just take a stress just for seeing it. Okay. So how'd your push go?
I got 2, so is that total of 3?
Okay. So then, so you would know then that there appears to be some kind of blown conduit, and you kind of take a look at. You're looking at the walls. You're going through some of the manuals and things here and there. This is all taking about half an hour or so as you're flipping through some stuff, and you're tracking it down based upon where the power is. There's some kind of power junction, some kind of conduit deep in the bowels of the ship that seems to just be like things are just dead ending there. And so as things are looping around on the circuit, this is just like a dead end. And so right now, like you're powering, but stuff's not kind of getting recycled for some reason. And so you kind of have a general idea where it is, but it's going to require kind of crawling through some vents and getting on your elbows and knees and all that kind of thing.
Got some bits.
Perfect for Chet.
Oh yeah? I'm sorry, I totally missed it. Oh, thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.
Okay. So, good.
Hey,
Yeah, what's that?
I need to get around in them vents, and sometimes them vents can be awful quiet. I mean, awful small. We got a comm nearby?
I mean, you've got one.
I didn't know I was on your... What channel are you on?
4.
Oh, I was on 5. Hey, we're gonna have to go into the vents, and I'm kind of small myself, but I know somebody smaller. Think I could get I'll hail Chet to accompany me in these vents.
I mean, if they need a professional, Dad.
Yeah. Yeah, Chet, why don't you go help? Why don't you go help Mr. Ellsworth?
Sir, yes, sir. I'm on my way.
He's gonna turn to Big E. To
Frenchie.
Frenchie. He
Yeah.
goes, about that firearm you were gonna give my son? Do you have one?
You're muted, I think, Chet.
Muted.
I'm muted. Yeah, not on me, but I'm willing to buy him one. Call it
Go
a-
back to
call
the
it a-
ship and get him one.
Go
Call it
stop
a,
at the floating Walmart.
A welcoming, welcome aboard gift. How's that?
Sure.
Actually,
He'll take it from Frenchie and he'll hand it to Chet and said, "Son, you know how to operate this. Keep the safety on. Don't point it at anyone."
your boy got a knife? Boy always needs a good pocket knife.
No, I don't have. Do you have a knife? I'll take
Sure.
a gun and a knife.
I ain't got a gun to give you right now. I need to keep my gun on me, but here you go. I'll take
All
my
right, takes a
knife
knife.
in sheath off my belt, and I'll just toss it to you. Here you go, kid. Go stab something fun.
Colonel Winters is looking at this, just like, just call me if you find anything up here.
You got it.
She turns around, puts her helmet
Be
back
careful,
on.
son.
I will.
Remember,
I've got
stick 'em with
this.
the pointy end.
Well,
It's
I'm
just
12. I'm not
I
stupid.
know. It's just a phrase. It's classic, American media.
yeah. If I do stab something, I'll bring something back for you.
Oh, that's awesome. Always take a souvenir.
Yes. I've got a knife. I got a knife. I got a knife. I got a knife.
Okay, so then Clover, you're on your way and you're trying to navigate as best you can towards how to get to these labs. Go ahead and roll an observation test.
Okay.
This is how Matt gets you to get a bunch of stress in alien games. He's just like, observation this, observation this.
Do.
And then boom, 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 and all of a sudden
Yep.
you're crazy.
And it builds.
It's clutch. I learned from the master. Okay, you're looking for signs, and there are signs, but the problem is that the walls are completely ripped up. Some of them have just these huge tears in them. Others, like, you can see that like they're just swaths of blood or some other kind of discoloring. You can see that some of the grates that you're walking in seem as if they've suffered some kind of damage, some kind of heavy damage. These are metal grates that you're walking on that are just caved in some way. It's kind of a dicey journey for you.
Can I try to get my friend Veronica on the radio while I'm walking?
Yeah, it's easy enough to do. No problem.
So, what do you think? How big would something have to be to make an indentation this many inches or feet deep? What do you think? I'm seeing some pretty big damage over here. And I mean, you and I could jump up and down and not do this, and a lot of the tech we've come across wouldn't do this either.
Well, my medical expertise, I have no idea.
Keep an eye out for yourself when you come over here. I think something pretty big, heavy, strong did a lot of damage over here, and I think we would not be very safe if we come across it on our own.
I just walked by all these synths that are all torn apart. I mean, cheers, but
But
that
just torn,
doesn't
torn
bode
apart.
well for me.
No, me neither. Stay safe.
You too.
And Clover, as you hang up the call, you suddenly hear a click, like this, like something scurrying about near you. You can hear like the sounds of like pitter patter of feet on like metal.
I'm definitely going to be finding the nearest human.
Okay. So You pick up the pace a little bit, and as you come around the corner, you come smashing into Dr. Chapman, who you saw on your own ship, and he was carrying something, and you've just dropped everything onto the ground. You can see all these careful petri dishes and other little items have just collapsed. What have you done, you fool? You clumsy... Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I do that sometimes in my own lab. It happens. I was moving quickly because back behind me there was
just
there's something back
pick.
there, I think.
Stop it. You're just hearing things. They've done a sweep.
I don't think I'm hearing things. I've got really good hearing, actually. There's definitely something there.
Ma'am?
Mm-hmm.
Can I call you ma'am?
I mean, I prefer you call me doctor, but if you have to call me ma'am, I suppose I'll be all right with it.
And he's like, look. And as you look around, you can see that there's a handful of like surgical beds and an auto dock. You can see that the auto dock, the sort of the opening flap, the cover to it, has shattering of glass and that large hole in the middle, and like the radiating symbols coming away from it as if something bust into it or out of it. You can see that on the ground there are all sorts of gauze and other cloths that seem to be kind of brown colored, as if it's blood and it's been sitting there for some time. You can see that there are a handful of like these glass walls that seems to separate a series of labs, and like half of them have completely shattered and fallen down. There's glass everywhere. And he looks at you and he says, there is so much to do. Could you please get a clipboard, a pencil, and just inventory something, okay? Inventory something. I don't need this right now.
Or you could tell me what did that.
There's nothing here. You have like a 12-year-old probably running around like an idiot. Who the hell brings a 12-year-old onto a ship like this? What's wrong with you people?
Wasn't my idea. His daddy.
I don't care. I
here.
don't care. I have a lot of pressure on me right now. Please, just do your job, okay? If there's something on the ship, we have like a dozen people with big guns. It's fine. Gee. And he starts picking up everything. There, over there. And he points to like this countertop that's covered with like petri dishes and like a microscope that's been knocked over. And you can see that there's some kind of damage that's been done to this metallic cabinet. And you look up and there's like a hole in the ceiling, and then there's like almost looks like the cabinet sort of melting to its side a little bit. Then you see that there's a hole in the ground. And as you're looking to the left a little bit, you can see a little hallway, and there's two other labs that are right there. These heavy-duty doors, not glass doors. And there's 4 Marines that are standing, like these 4 of these mercs that are standing there, each one of them flanking the sides of the doors, and they both have heavy guns, except one of those doors looks like it has been blown apart. You can see that it's still somewhat intact, but there's a huge chunk missing from it, and there's a lot of like this blackened discoloration, like fire damage or explosion damage that's around it and on the ground. And they look at you, and you can tell even from about 40 feet away down this run of labs, they're staring at you. Take a point of stress.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Who's next? Up on the bridge. Silas, Frenchie, you're alone now. It's just the two of you. And there's a little bit of power now. The consoles themselves, they have power, but they don't seem like they've been damaged. You can see that some of them have, it's like someone took a spanner to one of them. Looks like there's bullet holes in a few of these. You can tell that the two that look to be most salvageable, one looks like kind of a captain's console or kind of communications console. The other looks like the helm. Life sciences looks, you're going to want to probably get Biggie up here to figure that out. That's going to be like an overhaul. So both of you go ahead and roll context for your various positions. I was thinking the same thing, Jen. I think we're... Okay, so Silas, I got to pass on Silas. Were you going to push that, Chuck?
Yeah. There's a success.
Okay. Silas, are you satisfied
there's
with
two
one
successes.
success?
One success. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that.
You gonna stick with, okay. So we'll start with that one. So you start going over this like communications console, and you're able to get it takes probably a good half an hour to start bypassing some things, rewiring some things, but eventually you can see that there's a series of logs, some of which you can gain access to, some of which seem to be protected by Mother, but you do seem to have some kind of detail about like how long the ship's been out here. You can see kind of relative. You probably glanced at some point before you left the Gleedy-Sidon with the star date and everything. Likely that they've been the last log that they seem to have, the last particular thing that was automatically recorded by the ship systems was about a month ago, give or take a few days. And it seems as though the ship was automatically dropped out of FTL in order to respond to a distress signal of some kind. It's unclear from what you're reading here, from what you can gain access to, what actually happened, who sent the distress call. There's no follow-up information on that. But that's the most recent, is that Mother just a very succinct dropped out of FTL to respond to a distress call. It's like it's an automated thing that Mother does.
Okay. So that's the last. It's just the automatic drop, and there's no logs after that showing any response from the crew.
Right. Now, when you start digging into some things, Frenchie, you're kind of in helm, you're in navigation. You're pretty sure, like, you're pretty sure you're kind of getting a sense of where you're at. Like, you kind of know where you're at in terms of like the star charts and stuff. And you get some info that apparently you can see like the tracking of their route. And if you wanted to access this information, you could probably learn specifically where this ship's course originated from when it went into FTL.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to get shot.
Okay. Damn it. Almost got him. Okay. You start pouring through some more, Silas, and you start going back a couple days, a couple weeks. There's frequent reference to, quote, precious cargo. Like that's like an actual phrase that they use
Interesting.
over and over and over again. And there's references to casualties. If you go back to some really much earlier ones, like you can see almost a list of who was on the ship. You can kind of get personnel. There's the highest ranking military or mercenary operator on here seemed to be captain, but that wasn't who was logging the most recent logs. That seemed to be somebody of corporal, suggesting that at some point in time, change in leadership. You also are able to tell that the amount of cryopods that were used on their return ship is far less than are actually on the ship, because there's like 24 cryopods on the ship according to the records, but only like 7 were in use when FTL when they dropped them out of FTL and Auto brought them up. There's no information here, or there's information here that there is an onboard android as well that was kind of assisting in a variety of like FTL type maintenance. Pretty standard stuff.
And is there any information on the location of that android?
Yeah,
or the status of it?
Well, in terms of status, it says offline. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anything you guys are particularly interested in looking for or going through while you're up here that you haven't already touched on?
No, I was just trying to figure out and get their nav systems working right.
Yeah, and that's something that you definitely think that you can.
Okay.
That you
Yeah,
can get.
I won't be digging.
Yeah, I don't want to dig either.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want to get shot.
Yeah, we are scared.
I've scared you
Yeah.
guys so hard. So sorry. I'll say this: there's one thing that does catch your eye as you're trying to sort of reroute some power to nav control. Is that you're definitely seeing that there's a power drain somewhere on the ship, and you also, when you start messing around with kind of like sort of like sensor control, trying to see if you can get a feel for where everybody is. Internal sensors don't seem to be working properly, but there's some sort of like flashing, like there's some sort of like flashing warning, and you know when something's blinking and flashing, it's really dangerous. It's really bad. It's like red flashing, and it says it's something about the water systems, like the water recycling systems. There's like danger, and then there's a reference to a hull breach.
Oh, I'll definitely point that out. Like, hey, boss man, they've got some kind of hull breach in their water cyclers.
You
Say it to me or to which?
Yeah,
to
to you.
Silas? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna say good catch, Frenchie, and I'll radio Winters and relay what Frenchie found.
Okay, and she'll come on. Copy that. You got the specs of the ships up there? Can you direct us to it? Let's see, and you can hear that she's kind of going through something. All right, so it looks like there's 3 tanks on this ship. Got an idea of which one it is?
Can I pull that information
Yeah,
from
and
the...
it looks like it's starboard side.
Okay, starboard tank. Would there be any way I could maybe seal that off from the other tanks? I don't want to do it. I just want to see if I think I could do it.
Yeah, from what you can, let's go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a comtech to see if you can like close certain things to make sure there's no kind of air leak or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, 2 successes.
You've closed off. I mean, like you've made sure if they weren't already closed, that whatever emergency doors or something that need to be closed, so that you're not like kind of venting too much atmosphere. But you're definitely noticing that there's still venting going on. So there's something somewhere in the kind of the starboard section by the water recycling that is just there's a leak of some kind.
Okay. Yeah, and I'll relay the information I have, and I'll relay that I've got everything sealed off that I can to help cut that down.
Okay. And she'll say, "Copy that. We got to get your damn grease monkey out there when he's done with whatever the fuck he's doing right now." All right. So we're gonna switch over then to Veronica really quick before we go switch over to Chet and Biggie. As Veronica, you make it into the lab area, and you can see that Clover has like got a clipboard out and going through and sort of making sense of what's left, stacking up stuff. There's so much terrible like just garbage in all sorts of direction, glass on the ground, broken medical equipment, etc. But you immediately notice as when you walk in that the auto dock is broken. Now, first of all, these auto docks are ridiculously expensive. They're like $500,000 credit, like E08 dollars, so like crazy expensive. But as a medical doctor, you would also know that these things are really sturdy too. Like they're not easy to break. And so when you kind of take a look at it, you can see that there's definitely this big welt of blood that hasn't fully drained out. And normally what happens is it'll kind of like there's like a whole little layer on it where it'll drain out whatever blood might have been spurted out during its automated surgery. It hasn't. So this thing is completely malfunctioning. You can see that the bolts where this is anchored down to the actual floor itself it's kind of bent in some ways, as if something was trying to like move it. And you also notice that there's a series of like little cabinet doors that are like morgue doors, like where there's sort of body storage as well. So this is what you see when you go in there. And there's also Dr. Chapman, who's like running around and getting very upset. And there's the four Marines that are kind of covering the two doors at a distance.
Clover.
So I
Get up.
stop what I'm doing and walk over.
Can you look at this with me?
Yeah. What do you think?
Look at the bolts.
I told you, there's something big, and I brought it up to that one over there, and he just shushed me and gave me a clipboard to count things. I think my skills are being underutilized. I'm counting things and sweeping up broken glass.
Intern, get over here.
What? And he goes, yeah, oh.
Yes, you.
And he starts
intern.
coming over, and he starts walking over, and right as he goes to start moving, the lights in the lab go out. And you hear, and he kind of falls down. The two of you go ahead and make mobility rolls really quick. Yeah, either you want to push that.
Yes.
Okay.
Success.
So you all hear, the two of you, like as you turn around, the lights go out, you hear something starting to crack above you, and then something blows. And the two of you manage to dodge out of the way in the dark, and a little bit of fire just erupts all of a sudden in the room, and just the tiniest bit of light begins to wash. This orange fire just washes over everything in the lab, and you can see that something just kind of skitters up and moves along one of the countertops, and you hear a clink. Something gets knocked over and crashes to the ground.
I'm gonna grab Clover and get us both like haphazardly on our feet, even though we dodged whatever that was,
Okay.
and we're booking it.
Okay, so as you get up and you're like stepping on things, you hear, and then after that you hear, what was that? And then all of a sudden you hear, as like gunfire just completely unloads. And I'll roll over your rolls before you get ducked down to the ground. Moments later, the light kind of flickers back on, and you can see laying on the ground right, like just a couple feet from you, you can see there's the body of Dr. Chapman just littered with holes, and there's some kind of creature laying on top, and there's this little bit of smoke or steam erupting up out of his chest as something is just melting through the chest cavity, and he's go ahead and both of you take a point of stress for that.
Oh gosh.
And the Marines who are firing the guns, they turn and they point them at you, and they're like, you didn't see anything. And then they reach down and they start dragging the body of the doctor and that creature that's dead on top of him, just dragging, and you see they throw them both into one of the laboratories that they're covering.
And Clover will say to them, he wouldn't listen to me, but I told him that I heard those noises when I came down that hall. You might want to better search this area. Perhaps.
You see him get down his radio. Colonel, all these civilian doctors mentioned something about hearing things.
Oh, yes, we hear all kinds of things. Clover, shut your mouth.
We got an incident here. Doc Chapman had kind of looks over at Clover, looks over at Veronica as the lights are flickering on and off. It's like strobing now. Had an accident, we can call it. And you hear the voice of the colonel be like, just clean it up. We'll worry about them later. And then, and he's said like the Marine that's like dragging the body back kind of turns, all right, you just go check wherever. Just go start wandering down the halls back there. Check the vents, check behind the walls, check the panels. Let's make sure we got all of them.
Thank you. That's exactly what I told him you should have done, and he completely ignored what I had to say. Thank you.
And he kind of looks at you, this motionless, like metal face. Well, I guess he can't learn his lesson now, can he?
Well, no, I I suppose not. That wasn't quite the point. Just that we could have been
Do you got
safer.
a job that you're supposed to be doing right now? Because I do.
Sure. Thank you for doing such a good job. I appreciate the job you did. Then she'll sort of awkwardly go back to her inventorying, which is probably harder now because things have been shot up and are even more broken.
Good. All right.
I'm not inventorying anything. I'm just going to pretend to be working.
Okay.
I'm not.
Fair enough.
Are we just bait? Is that what this is? Is
Yes,
this to say,
that's,
come here,
that's what I'm feeling.
get a clipboard, and see if anything attacks you?
All right.
Yeah,
Speaking.
and I'm gonna place my back and kind of do a little shimmy on Clover and let her know I'm there. I'm like, we're back to back.
Okay. And the light's continuing to flicker on and flicker off every couple of seconds. Flicker on, flicker off, flicker on, flicker off. So if you have flashlights, you probably have them out. If you don't have flashlights, though, every couple of seconds, it's fairly stressful as it gets dark in here.
Clover, I think I'm about to have a seizure. Let's get out of this lab. Before I do, let's go on the bridge. Oh, Clover.
I'll walk her out and just say, this lighting is not good for her, and I'll see what happens if we start to walk out of the lab with her.
And they just say, I think you should go ahead and just stay right here, don't you?
Oh, I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna have it right now.
This is not gonna go well. These lights are. I've known her for a long time. This is not. It's not gonna be good. I'm continuing to try to edge toward the door.
You want to end up like the doc? Then get your asses back to work.
Okay, I toss myself on the ground and I start.
And he just he gets the gun off his shoulder at that point. He kind of. Is there a problem here?
You see a little bit of something coming out of my mouth, and it's just a chewed up never sleep pill, but you don't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, Clover's gonna say, no, she has seizures. This is an actual medical situation. Pointing a gun at it isn't
Well,
going to
good
stop
thing
a
we're in a
seizure.
medical lab. Get your shit together. Figure this out. I gotta get back to my post.
And does he walk away?
Yeah.
And so then I'll kind of lean over to her when he's out of eyesight and just say, he's gone.
I like to digest, though.
Okay. We're gonna shift over to Biggie
Crap.
and Chet. Speaking of bait, as Biggie, you manage to you take like this giant binder with you, right? This big old binder, and you're like kind of tracking, following various pipes, figuring out the closest access hatch, radio down. Oh, does anybody want to be famous?
Why not?
Melissa, can you do that?
Hey, look, it's big. E follows.
Oh boy, Melissa, can you ban him? All right.
I don't have that.
Yes, you do. Don't worry about it.
5 feet.
All right.
Yeah.
So you managed to find an access hatch there, Big E. It's as you're moving, you're seeing kind of the same things you've seen in other parts throughout the ship, where there's just a lot of debris, a lot of damage that seems to have been done to the ship in different ways. You're seeing metals that don't normally bend, that are kind of bent. You see grates that have kind of been eaten through, almost like some kind of acid. And as you're kind of looking up, you hear Chet just walking up behind you. Chet, what do you say to him as you walk up and you can see flashlight, book, kind of looking up at this access hatch? You see a ladder that's supposed to be leading up towards it, but it's knocked over on its side. And you just
I heard somebody called for a fucking professional.
Oh, you're getting paid too, huh?
Paid in experience.
All right. Well, that's not a professional. That's amateur. That's all right. It's okay. You'll be professional here soon enough. The moment you make one single credit, you can call yourself professional. Got it?
Got it.
We'll get you there. We'll get you experience. Hey, careful. He looks down at your shoes. What are your shoes made out of?
Just the finest polymer that we can get. He starts rattling off like these are the highest end sports shoes for like running and all sorts of other nonsense. Made for durability and comfort.
Good, because look, I think this ship was transporting caustic materials. Does that point to the areas where the metal is melted away?
Oh man.
So be careful. Try not to step on nothing. Put on some gloves. You got gloves, right?
Yes.
Well, all right. I got a pair and can wear mine until I need them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're about to go into this vent here.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've ever been in any vents before, but it's kind of crammed and tight.
No.
And and I'm gonna go first. Okay. But if I come across something that I can't reach my hand in, I'm going to need you to do it, okay?
Okay.
And oh, look at you. Got yourself a gun.
No, I wanted a gun. They only gave me a knife.
Oh wait, so he didn't
I
get
don't
a
think
gun?
he actually has a gun because I think
Oh,
I don't think Frenchie actually has a gun.
I've just got the one.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay.
So he has
No.
a knife. on
Okay.
him, though.
Frenchie
Oh,
gave me a knife.
Yeah, look at you. You got a knife. All right, so there's something else that I'd like you to do.
Yeah.
I hand him my bolt gun. You're going to carry this for me.
Yes, I will.
Now, thing that you want to be careful of is you don't want to pull this right here when when you don't want to nail something to the wall. Okay.
Okay.
Now, the reason I'm having you carry this is just like I said, it's tight in there. And since I'm going to be going first, you're going to be on your butt, pushing yourself and looking behind us.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, see, I've been in situations like this before where there's some silly synth doing all sorts of crazy stuff, like keeping weird pictures and carving initials into bullets and some weird stuff. So it's another reason why I want you here. I want you to watch her back, okay?
Okay.
In case any of them working Joes is still around.
Okay.
All right. Now, if you see one of them and they're looking mighty not friendly,
Uh-huh.
well, make sure that they get real attached to one of the sides of the vents, okay?
Fuck yes.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that pretty cool?
Yes.
Now, the hole's over here.
All right, both of you go ahead and roll mobility tests. As you climb up, it's an awkward climb because the ladder's not attached any further. So it's like you're kind of half crawling at that, stepping on a few things, then pulling yourself up the rest of the way. Okay. You want to push that there, Biggie?
Nah.
Okay. You get up and you realize you're too big. Like part of the vent has collapsed, and there's just no way. You're just too big. Can't get through.
Fuck. All right, we're going to have to pry this part of the vent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I got a winch in my toolkit.
Okay.
The lights
a little bit,
kind
though.
of flicker out, and like the ship kind of goes dark again. Everyone on the ship, you don't see anything. Everything just completely goes dark. Frenchie, Silas on the bridge, you get a little bit of light from the consoles. Clover, Mars, you got like the flashlights and such. Like whenever they go out, you can see that the mercs are kind of shining the light over in your direction, making sure you're not doing anything stupid. But with Chet and Big E, completely dark. Do either of you have flashlight or anything?
turn the light on in my compression suit. It's not as good as a flashlight, but
Okay.
it will kind of, like light the immediate area.
Yeah. So as you turn and you kind of look back for a second, check on Chet, turn the light on, he's still there, and then you turn around, and right there in the vent in front of you, you see a working Joe android. These big glowing eyes that they had kept closed up until they were right in front of you, and they just reach out and try to grab you. I'm gonna roll a contested close combat. Actually, no, they're not gonna. It's not contested yet. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Let me roll. It's gonna roll to attack first. That'll be a hit, and then it's going to wrap its arms around you, and then you can see it just starts to pull Big E forward. So you're actually gonna take 3 points of damage, and one of those successes is just going to be wrapping its arms around you. No weapon. You can see it suffered some damage, and as you're looking, this is just the torso of one of these working androids that has wrapped itself completely around Big E.
Okay.
One of you can do something. I don't care which order.
Right. So, I'm assuming I'm surprised. So no defense roll, but
no
I do have armor and resilient.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your armor. That's fine. So however many d6s you have for that.
Environment suit's only got 2, but
Okay, roll your
hey.
2.
Oh, come on, not 20. Every time I put 2 in, it puts it back to 0.
Are you like just clicking the buttons? Like 2d6?
No, I'm like trying to edit my armor in the general tab, and I hit 2, and then I hit enter, and it goes to 0.
Is it? Oh, it's because you have to. I think you have to actually.
There we go. I figured it out.
All right.
You don't hit enter.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
Yeah, I'm clicking armor, and that's not doing it. I'm just gonna do 2d6.
Just 2d6. That's fine. I think it's because you don't have your suit as an active item.
Oh,
I forgot how to do active items.
So just
Yeah,
click it
okay.
click.
On the image.
Yeah.
that is definitely not.
Yeah.
If I got a 3, it's definitely not.
So take
I need
3
6s.
3 points of damage as they just reach their arms and they just squeeze, and they probably get their arms right underneath your neck, and you could feel a little bit of a crunch as your Adam's apple just kind of gets pushed a little bit to the side.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't get anything on resilient either, so I take 3 points.
Okay. Yeah, and you can see immediately like you're having trouble breathing. You're trying to move, but you can't. So on if you wanted to go next, Biggie, like the only thing you can do is try to break the grapple. But Chet, you can do something instead if you wanted.
I'll let Chet go first.
Okay.
Oh man, I'm scared of shooting, but nah, screw it. He's a little kid. He's gonna shoot it.
Okay.
Oh my god, this is a bad idea. I just.
Yeah. So you hold the bolt gun up, you fire, and fortunately it does go ting. It doesn't hit Big E. It doesn't hit anything. It just completely misses everything. Big E, do you want to try? So now, if you want to try to break, it's got to be a contested close combat roll to try to break grapple.
Sure.
So sometimes you
All
can
right. Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna push this.
Okay. And you're able to, as they only got 1 success, you got 3, and you're able to just peel one of those arms that's around your neck off and just sort of push it back. And you can see the torso just sort of tumbles over itself a little bit, stuck in, and then it kind of gets stuck for a second, and then it flops back down. You can see it look up at you, and you think it hisses, and it just and starts moving right back towards you again. Okay. So we'll say it's going to go... I think this time it's going to try to lunge out at Chet, who just shot a gun at it.
I would love to dodge this if it hits me.
Oh, yeah, of course. Let me roll. It misses, and so it's hard to get past Biggie, who's like kind of in the way, and it's just sort of kind of reaching past you like some crazed zombie. And then Chet, go ahead.
Uh,
Come on, partner. You got this.
okay. Just where the hell's the sight on this? This is
It ain't that type of gun. Use your knife if you need to.
You fire, and you can see that it gets like a little bolt, kind of gets caught in like its wrist. Doesn't really seem to do much to it. It kind of like there's a little splurt, but it's still going. Biggie, what do you want to do?
All right. All right, son of a bitch. And I'll take out my cutting torch, and I'm gonna try and cut it apart.
Yeah.
Suppose I should. Okay, so that one is active. Okay, good. And I got one. It does 3 damage, and it's armor piercing if it has any.
Okay. You good with the one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's enough. You just cut through it. You probably get it right across the neck. The head just kind of flops off to the side, like a cut in half grape, and just sort of spills something out. Yeah. It just flops down into the middle of the vent. Just starts bleeding in all sorts of different directions. As you look past it, you can see that there's like this crazed sparking that's happening in the distance as the light goes, because the light is fairly dark in here right now, obviously. But you can see that there's like flickering of light about maybe 10 feet away, and you can see as you flash the light of the suit over that you found its torso, or excuse me, you found its legs, as the legs seem to be kind of caught up in some kind of conduit jack there. So you're able to sort of move off to the side, and now that this thing's kind of, you can sort of climb over top of it, but it's really difficult for you to move past. But you could probably send Chet forward if you wanted.
All right, partner. You did good. You did real good. You see that what you did to its hand there? That kept it from hurting me anymore. So
you have $1 on you?
Yeah, I do.
Give me a fucking $1.
All right. I give him $1. Yep, you're professional. That's right. Heck, I mean, that's right. All right. So seeing as how you're a professional and all,
yeah,
I need you to do something for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can't fit in there while them legs is still in there.
Oh, I got it.
So you crawl past, and you can see that there is this junction box, right? That the collapsing of the vent seems to have like kind of cut something in half, and like half the junction box is kind of pulled out of the wall. Roll an observation test, Chet.
Okay.
There's a lot of damage in this area.
Observation. There you are.
Okay. Roll panic. Actually, it's only one. Don't worry about it. It's just one. Because you only have one shot, so it's not big deal. As you're peeling away, like this burnt bottom half of this working Joe Android, you can see that there's all sorts of these connections that are just completely obliterated. But you can tell that this is likely where kind of the circuit is found its block, and there's probably a way you can bypass it. But you start noticing that there's like a lot of like kind of these strange little packages that have been attached to different parts of this area, some of which have kind of exploded, and you can see like there's some kind of wrapping on the ground, and you can think there's like a chunk of some kind of block that kind of came out of the pocket, and it's some kind of explosive. Like some kind of explosive was set up here for some reason.
Yeah, there's explosives in here. There's so many blocks of explosives in here.
Yeah?
Only one of them is intact. All the other ones have kind of blown and are into bits, but you can have like one like basically C4.
Oh, no, they've already all exploded. But there were a lot in here.
All of them?
I think so.
Okay.
It's kind of hard to see, but it looks like it. But there's a whole row of them.
Well, there's a whole row of what?
Like
What's it look like?
Packaging, like they were probably blocks at some point. Like
Look like silly putty?
yeah,
Gray?
Probably.
Yeah, sometimes we use that to clear debris. So, you know.
So, on the on the radio, you hear the voice of like the colonel kind of kick in. It's like, we need an ETA on that on the lights here. And hey, Captain Frenchie, we're gonna need a hand at this starboard water recycling. You got your suit on still?
Yeah, I do. I'll head that way.
Okay. All right. So,
Anytime now we had a live one.
So, Frenchie, we're walking through the halls. Silas, do you stay on the bridge? Or do you
Who
follow?
would be closest to me? I don't have a suit. Does he have to go outside? That's why they asked if he had a suit on.
You would have had a suit. You would have had a suit coming over. Like they would have. You would have been putting one.
I'll wander with him and
Okay.
kind of look for maybe someone or something else going on.
Okay.
But I'm not going to stay there by myself, and I'm not going to go out with him. in
So you
space.
would probably pass by the labs, and you can see like the light kind of flicking on and off. Clover and Mars Bar and a random cat are just kind of freaking out a little bit. So you can kind of choose to hang out here, or you can keep going with Frenchie. It's up to you.
I'll stop here.
Okay. All right. Do either of you fill Silas in on what's gone down in the past hour?
Absolutely.
You tell him everything?
Yes.
Okay. So they're babbling, and they tell you everything that happened. They're like super fast. Like it's coherent, but it's like fast, and you can tell a little stressed, right? But Silas, you hear about there was skittering, the lights went out, something jumps on Chapman. That they just mowed him down, and it was like burning through his chest, and
And we'll add, but we're not supposed to tell anybody. So this is just between us.
so Silas, you are privy now to what just went down.
Looking at them, kind of like, what are you two talking about? What did this thing look like?
We'll give a description of what it looked like.
Roll a. Nah, don't worry about rolling. It looked like almost like a. It's almost like a walking hand, like a hand capable of walking.
A walking hand. He's gonna repeat. He's gonna open up his briefcase and he's gonna start making some notes. Looking at the two of them. Just like, all right. Well, what do they have you doing in here?
Inventory.
And how's that going?
It was going okay till things got shut up and further broken. So now we're back to it again.
He's gonna look past the two of them. Are the Marines still
Yes.
nearby? They're still there?
Yes. Yeah, there's
They
two. There's
took
now
my
two.
Seizure. They took my seizure in vain.
Hey,
Your medical records don't say that you suffer from epilepsy.
Flopping around with stuff coming out of my mouth. They didn't care. I'm getting emotional because this is becoming stressful. And if it
Okay.
had been a real medical emergency, they didn't do what they were supposed to.
Are you done taking inventory?
Can we be? You're gonna see crocodile tears going down her face now.
Silas is gonna walk over to the Marine and say, "Listen, they're done their task. So what? Where else do you need them?"
He kind of looks at you, kind of like sizes you up and down, and you hear like a little. Colonel, you got that company guy here asking if the doctors can be reassigned. And the colonel kind of comes on. It's like, that's a negative for now. Stand by.
Negative? Fine. We're going back to our ship.
Colonel, are they free to return to the Gliddy-Sinum? And you hear yeah, that's fine. Go ahead and they can go back.
All right. So let's go, you two. Let's get out of here. We've got clearance.
Thank you, Silas. I'll never forget this.
So, flash over then to Frenchie, who you're walking up to, which you know is the Colonel Winters. She's there. She's kind of, you see her looking out some kind of window, some kind of viewing portal, like in a wall. She's got this big old gun that she's got leaning up against her, like on the ground, and she's got her helmet off. She's just sort of shaking her head, and there's no one else around. It's just her. And you kind of wander up. She kind of looks over at you before you even say anything. She says, "Yeah, a couple of your crew have already gone back, but come here, take a look at this. What the hell do you think that is out there?" So you peer out through this little portal into what looks like some kind of water recycling system, right? And there's like this big old busted tank. And you can definitely see that there is a very clear hole breach. So there's this massive hole in the wall. The tank has been kind of ripped apart. But you also notice, like around the whole room, there's this weird coating on the walls. And she's like some kind of algae or something they use or whatnot. Like everywhere on the walls in this room, there's like this dark, strange covering of things. Like it's like sticking just to the walls. The floor is kind of dropping down from the ceiling here and there, and like you can tell that it's not getting like sucked out into the hole in the ship, but there's like nothing else loose around, so everything's kind of stuck to the walls. And your eyes kind of focus as like inside this small pocket where you see like against one of the walls there's these two figures that are kind of buried behind whatever this substance is. Like you can tell they're human. They're just kind of almost frozen over, like so they're blue, probably from the exposure. Kind of eyes, face kind of bursting, capillaries burst here and there, and they're kind of leaning forward. And there's like this massive holes in the center of their chest. And she says, "You don't think explosive compression can do that, do you?"
Yeah, definitely not.
All right.
Why would it? I've never seen anything, any form of, no matter how extreme a compression, rupturing a chest cavity like that. That's I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that was the right answer. And she goes ahead and she puts the helmet back on. And we'll go ahead and just end it there because it's like 20 after. Okay.
Ah,
Goodness.
All right. So, yay. You guys are screwed.
Yeah, we are.
Fine.
So screwed. Let's hit those XP questions really fast. Keep track of your own. Participate. Yep. Anybody risk or sacrifice something for their personal agendas or something like that? No. Okay. Risk your life for a buddy, PC?
We
No.
keep getting split up.
Yeah. Sorry.
yeah.
Challenge or stand up to your rival.
What if you decided they were your rival right then and there?
Who was your rival?
Well, nobody until somebody started talking about getting rid of anybody, everybody, nobody, and somebody.
Oh, silence.
Okay.
Does it
Okay.
count?
Yeah,
And
sure.
Eugene is going to be my best friend.
Yeah, take it. Take it. That's
my
fine.
buddy.
Make a panic roll. Chet would have. I just waived it because it was only one. Anybody else roll an actual what's this gonna go? Facehugger one. Yeah, we've been running for about 2.5 hours now, so we gotta take off. Anybody else panic? No. Okay.
No, it's possible that I should have from taking stress along the way, but no.
Okay. Overcome a dangerous event using violent or non-violent means. Chet and Big E up in the vent.
I would say faking a seizure is a.
I would totally
way to-
agree. Not only that, but I think like the hiding when the lights went out. If you would have failed those mobility rolls, I was gonna roll randomly to see who that. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a face hugger, but all of us know it's a face hugger.
Sure.
who it was gonna attack. But since you both made your ability rolls, it went on to the NPC. So that could have been a game over for somebody. So I'll say the two of you. Significant discovery or revelation?
Do we know it's significant yet?
I mean, we've seen things.
I
we've
was
never
think
seen
so
before.
bad.
I don't know if our character. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't think we have.
Like
I don't think so.
Chuck knows what the fuck
Yeah.
I'm looking at.
Oh hell yeah, yeah, yeah.
We know,
I think
yeah.
everyone knows what's happening here, right? Yeah, it's just we'll hang on that one. You'll probably get it next time, I would think. And did you earn any money? Chet got $1. Yeah.
It's called milk money.
This is what you guys are gonna do. You're just gonna give each other credits. Okay, I'll give you a credit, and then you give her a credit.
Yeah.
Then we all get it, right? Okay. Let's close it down. Let's do a last quick plugs and stuff. Jeremy podcast, where can they find it?
The Plewdcast, PLEWD cast. Matt and myself and our buddy Ken talk about comics and other good nerdy stuff. Come on over. We'll kill the chicken.
We got a new one coming up in the next week or two.
Yep.
Yeah.
Drop the link in the chat there. And Adam, Grim and Perilous.
I'd actually like to plug our website that was down for a while and had no content for a while. And now we're just putting a few things here and there. So there's our website, grimandperilous.com.
Excellent. Jen, your channel.
Hey, this is Jen. I play on Pixel Proller. That's my channel. And we will be on tomorrow night for some more Borderlands 3.
Perfect. And Matt, what do you got?
I'm running Cyberpunk Red tomorrow night on Notorious DMG on Twitch at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I am running another game this week. I'm running Forbidden Lands on Thursday at 12 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I have to think which time zone. Mountain Standard Time, middle of the day. It's a European group that running the game for on Free League's Twitch.
Bitter Reach, right?
The Bitter Reach.
All
Yeah,
right.
session 2 of the Bitter Reach.
Perfect. And Chuck, Defenders.
Oh snap! Yeah, I'll be over on Notorious DMG TV tomorrow night. Wednesday night, Rime of the Frostbane, but we've made it Weird West and set in Alaska. We're running it with Dark Trails. Friday night, 9 Central, we're doing our Evil 5th Ed campaign, and then Saturday, 1 p.m. Central on Free League Publishing, some more Forbidden Lands.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Raven's
There we go.
Purge.
yeah.
Perfect.
You get them both on the channel. They're both happening.
Yeah.
Both of them.
And for Melissa and I, come back on Saturday, 5 Central. We're playing Best Left Buried, horror fantasy stuff. Next Monday, we'll be over on the Free League channel playing Vaesen as well at 9 p.m. Central. You can check that out. And I'm going to go ahead and put us on the end screen. And I'm going to go ahead and raid TPK Roleplay. They're playing Destroyer of Worlds. So we'll go from one alien game to another. So thanks for everybody who hung out and watched tonight. And thanks for those of you who continue to watch this on YouTube. Really appreciate it. And we'll check you there. So good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.